So, we're here to talk a little bit more about what our journey has been, how we got into the consciousness of money, and where it's leading us, and invite you to join us on this quite incredible and expansive journey.
I'd survived in life, but I'd always believed that it was hard work, and when things were difficult, I just had to try harder. And you know what? The collateral damage was horrific.
My story is a little less dramatic, let's say.
I was really grateful for the lockdown when it happened. It finally put a stop to me. It made me sit in one place and think about what I was doing with my time. And yeah, so I became aware of Sarah McCrum's courses, and I sat and I listened to what was being shared by a lot of people. Emma, how would you say you were feeling before this began?
I'd always worked for myself, and I'd done various healing courses, Reiki, holistic massage, and I never seemed to be able to put a sensible price to those services. People were quite happy to take them for free, but they were more reluctant to pay, and I was very reluctant to charge.
So I guess I'd say with that, working harder, trying harder, believing that it was something wrong with me, that somehow money was letting me down because I was doing something wrong. And I've come to understand that's actually what was pushing money away from me, which is energy flows where attention goes. And by concentrating on what I thought was a problem to be fixed, I was never solving problems. So that really didn't work for me. Where did it take me? It took me into more pain and more misery the more I concentrated on my pain, and more distraction and more unhelpful behavior that was a kind of sickness. What would you say didn't work, Emma?
Going to a job that was pretty poorly paid and just really not valuing myself very much, not feeling that I had any right to be looking to earn any more money than I was, thinking, oh, I've just got to start all over. I've been at home with my kids for 20 years and running small businesses, but going back to work, I was quite happy. Well, I wasn't. I took a very, very low paid job and thought that was my status and that was all that I was worth. Which of course just made me feel even more worthless. So it was that exactly as John was saying, the energy flowed because my focus was, well, I'm the bottom of the pile. So I stayed the bottom of the pile and the bottom of the pile and the bottom of the pile. So I would say, yeah, feeling a sense of inadequacy and not very worthy were pretty rubbish things to do. Meditation, positive mindset, relaxing and trusting and growing my faith in the universe. I had I had a Catholic upbringing and I was very resistant to anything that I conceived of as religious or spiritual, but the more I've traveled down this path, the more I feel that there is not just what we see on this planet, that there's a whole load of other stuff that's coming at us from way beyond. And actually, when people say the universe has got my back, I now really know what that means. It's not necessarily that you do something and instantly you see the result. Manifestation seems to me to be, it can be instant, but the big ones tend to have a slightly slower burn, but they get there. And just getting into that feeling, that absolute trust and surrender. John's been amazing for me with surrender.
That once I accepted that I had to stop blaming other people for my circumstances and take responsibility for the choices I'd made in my life. That really what I came to see and what really worked for me was recognizing that it's like that experience of driving a car that goes out of control. The more you touch the controls, the more the car will spin out of control. And the only way to bring it to a safe stop, if you're skidding a car on ice, is to let go of the steering wheel and just see where you land.
And just knowing that it might not be exactly as you think it's going to be, and also just being around people who are in the same vibration, who are uplifting and not, there's so much pull down, or it couldn't possibly be like that. But when you're around people whose vibration is high, it just amplifies and it grows. And I do believe we're at the leading edge of the leading edge, and this is part of human evolution. And I'm so excited to be here.
Once I stopped and accepted and looked and saw the miracles which are occurring around us all the time, it opened my eyes to look for people who actually seemed to be having some success.
That thing about the old stories, that's probably the most powerful thing that I've learned through Sarah's work. If I ever start talking about my old stories, she just grabs me and goes, "No, Emma, I don't want to know about your old stories. What's happening now?" And there is so much of just being stuck in those old stories, whether they're from this lifetime or from previous ones. They don't help us. They do not help us, and they block us. So a lot of Sarah's work is about relaxation, and the relaxation is we'll come on to that, but it's about letting go of the old stuff so that the new stuff can come in. If we're full up with the old, there's nowhere for the new, clean, fresh, opportunistic opportunities to come in. So yeah, release, and then you can receive, and in that receiving you can grow.
I was looking for some way to get back to being a useful person able to make a contribution. I'd learned so much about what I'd done wrong, but that by itself was of very little value. What I wanted was the ability to start again, to make an impact again, to make a difference again, to contribute, to be helpful to others. And this idea to release, receive, and grow, well, for starters, I have to say it works.
I find Sarah an incredibly authentic individual. I've been on 2 retreats with her. I did an online course with her. I love that she's so grounded as well. There's a lot of stuff in the spiritual world which is kind of all out there, where Sarah really brings us into the reality of the planet that we're living on. And she's like, it's got to be practical. There's no point doing all these things if it's all just pie in the sky. So she's been brilliant for me with getting stuff down onto the ground into this physical realm. And I love her community.
And I got to see these people earnestly talking about using this as an opportunity.
It's very much about, there are problems in the world. Now we can all sit and talk about the problems, but that's just reacting. Where if we, as John was saying before, if we make choices about how we react and we actually create and see things as opportunities rather than as roadblocks, there's got to be a better way to live, surely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I really got an opportunity there to ask some of those questions and to talk about some of the difficulties that I was facing. And I got pointed onto some of the short, small courses and ideas. And I really felt the authenticity. That's what my initial impression was. And it encouraged me. I had that real sense of seeing what these people had and wanted some of that for myself. And I also had quite a miraculous experience as well when I tried one of these exercises. Very quickly, I got myself back into work, back into contracting. I'm earning money again. And the first thing the first paycheck came in, and I was really annoyed because all the shops were shut and there was no way I could go shopping. And then I remembered my priority was to repay the people that I owed money to. And so now I've begun that. It can't all be done in one go, but I'm regularly connecting with these people that help me and repaying people. And but there was an experience which happened in the middle of that, which is that I was doing it on this old computer I'd got in Cash Converters, and they just said, you know, believe that the money that you need will come if the purpose is not just for your selfish purpose, but also to help other people. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, this is to help the people I'm working for. I can't work on this old computer. And it all happened in about 30 minutes. I sat there, and within about 30 minutes, unexpected money was paid into my account. It wasn't enough to buy the £2,000 computer that I needed. I went on to Gumtree. I found one being sold secondhand in an office clearance that was shutting down, that was exactly the specification that I needed. And instead of being £1,800, £2,000, it was £450. And I had just received like £390 I wasn't expecting, and I had £60 which I was saving, and it was 3/4 of a mile away from my house. And an hour after that, I was there putting this computer in my hand, and my job was assured, and I've continued to repay the money from the job, and also, yeah, build everything up from that point. So, you know, I think that very practical experience showed me that these principles work. I would have probably dismissed what I'm telling you as hippie woo BS. But it's worked, it's happened for me. And I really want other people to have the same experience. That's what we're trying to do here with this. We really want to build that community, and we in turn want to support other people. That's so important to us. Relax, enjoy, love.
Relax, enjoy, love. Sarah's book is, you'll find out when you look around her course, particularly the introduction to Thank You Money, that it was a download. She channeled the whole thing, and it was the energy of money that was speaking to her, or speaking to us through her. And that is their message. And we saw it earlier, relax so that you can drop away all the stuff that you don't need. Enjoy what you're doing. When we're enjoying, we're in flow, that flow state. And love what you're doing, and love the people that you're doing it for. Money loves all that stuff. It cannot help itself. It comes to us. It doesn't, well, I'm not even going to say what it doesn't like, because the important thing is energy flows where your focus goes. So those are the things to concentrate on: relax, enjoying, and loving. It can't help itself. It's completely magnetized to it.
I can really hear somebody hearing what you're saying there and saying that's a load of old rubbish. And I guess because you can take it quite critically. Like if I say, oh, money comes to you when you live in love, you say, oh, what are you saying? I don't love anyone. And you know, that negativity kind of breeds more negativity. Of course, everybody's capable with love, everybody's capable of living in love, but we need practice. We need help and support, practical support, to show how to take what we're all capable of doing and using that, you know, through daily actions and a structure that helps us to really bring that into our experience.
And another part of it actually is that we all have, we're living in the Western world. We're watching this on computers. I imagine you've all got 4 walls and a ceiling and a floor underneath you. We have incredible abundance, smartphones in our pockets. It is also a big part of it is to recognize where we are right here, right now. Actually, we've pretty much got everything that we need. But we take so much for granted. And when you start to really notice the things that you have been taking for granted on a daily basis,
Yeah.
you just start to feel more abundant. You are, because I mean you the physical hasn't changed, but your recognition of it has. And that is so, so powerful, to recognize what you already have.
What we appreciate appreciates.
Appreciates.
Yeah.
Should we do the next slide?
Why not? So there's a free introduction course that you can join. There's a link here, which is also in the description for this video. And it's a really good introduction. If you use the link we provide, it helps us a little bit too. And we're going to be trying our best to support everyone who comes with us. And we're trying to build a group around this, because we really want to work with people who can bring this into their lives. We've got some quite exciting plans, and this is just the first step for us. We're pushing really to try and get as many people as we can to follow along with this. We're getting so much benefit from it. It's incredible the amount of change that we're getting, and I just can't strongly enough recommend that you get started on this with us.
The intro to Thank You Money just gives a little bit of a précis about what Sarah's done. You'll hear some transformances, which is work she's done with a composer called Gary Malkin. Beautiful, setting bits of the book to music. Again, they were channeled, downloaded from something out there somewhere. And just you'll get to see Sarah exactly as she is, really. And then if you want to join the course, we are the people who are doing Thank You Money. John and I are actually facilitating on a weekly basis a course, but that's open to everybody. We're wanting to have more intimate groups going forward. Those old stories, they're pretty persistent. The ego, the stuff that we're so attached to, it doesn't want to let us go. We all know about the ego, how the ego keeps us small and playing small. This is really about stepping into a new version of yourself, a new, much more loving version of yourself, a much more confident version of yourself, a more connected, more expansive version of yourself. And when we do that, when we're breaking down those old stories, we need repetition, we need consistency. It's so many people, how many people do you know who start on a practice and then it goes by the wayside? The absolute turning point in my own personal spiritual development was was starting to meditate. I started meditating on the 26th of February 2018, and I haven't missed a day since.
I think one thing that's really worth saying about the 1 year course is it's very, very simple. You don't need any experience of any other practice to begin this. It's not really so much like a meditation. There's no need to light any candles or have any floor cushions.
There is a raising in consciousness. That's why we're all here. That's what's brought you to this webinar.
It's all neatly organized. There is not a huge time commitment. You can do it at any time of the day that suits you. You can fit it around your own routine.
Consciousness is changing. Humans are changing. And it's really quite nice to have other people around you who are speaking the same language. So that, for me, is a massive part of being in community following these teachings.
There are some group meetings at different times of the day, different days of the week. They're not compulsory at all. You can do this entirely on your own if you wish. And there are just some simple podcasts to listen to and some simple relaxations. Literally, all that you have to do with the relaxation is find a comfortable place to sit and listen. And it's incredible difference that makes, that simple change of making some time every day to relax. And going back to what Emma said about how the ego stops us wanting to change, You know, right now, there's probably something in your head saying, oh, if it was that simple, everyone would be doing it. Well, you know, anyone can do it. All sorts of people are doing it. And that's why I think there is that part of our heads that just want us to fail, just want us to stay
Mm.
small, want us to not accept that there is a way things can be better. Things
And it
can
is, oh, sorry.
That's all right. Things can be better. Go on, Emma.
No, it is, and we all know about the ego, how the ego is there to protect us. But we're not where we used to be. We're not in the caves. We're not out in the savannas. We've got a different set of things. And John's absolutely right. All you actually need is a bit of space where you can rest your body. Sarah, a lot of the relaxations are actually called activations. And the reason activations, and in the course you'll see a big explanation of what they are, but they're a bit like, she describes it as like tending a garden. So you put some seeds out and then you water them. And some of them take longer to grow than others. And some of them need a bit more nurturing than others. But the idea is that you're beginning to activate these energies, which we all have within us on all these levels, but we haven't gone there yet. We've been stuck doing the things that the hard work that John was talking about earlier, the boring work, the stuff that actually kind of dulls our senses. And it's amazing when you're in a higher vibration, how much more open and expansive you become.
Emma and I have really got a lot of value out of this from helping other people. We organise a regular growth group on Wednesday night for people who are following along with this course. And we believe there's real power in the groups.
Absolutely, we do. I've actually been with a group, I'm part of a group of 8 people who've been meeting every Wednesday morning at 7 o'clock since last April. And the growth in all of us as individuals has been quite amazing. We sort of started off as a bit of a support group. We all met through Sarah's work, but now we're just moving into a completely different version of ourselves. And the work that John and I do, so we facilitate on a Wednesday night, we facilitate for the whole of the Thank You Money group. But we would like to be working with smaller groups, maybe in the daytime, particularly people who are business owners, because another part of what we do is that we support business owners to grow their businesses. Often there are lots of healers who are sort of a little bit stuck because they don't really like the admin and they don't really like the sort of project management. But we've both got business backgrounds. And so our plan is to create groups who will meet during the week and we will support each other. We have a very specific way of working so if you're looking for expansion in your business, then obviously that the Thank You Money that with Sarah's community is a slightly different thing. But that is the invitation to you sort of going forward is to join our groups.
We talk about the benefits of acting collectively. A lot of people are working on their own and finding it very difficult and very hard. And what we want to do is build some groups that support each other reliably, that you only need to commit as much time as is comfortable. We're going to put some effort into getting the right people to work with each other and to support each other over the long term according to all sorts of different factors. But we really want to start with these Thank You Money courses. We want to attract people to work with us who are interested in following these Thank You Money courses, because it's very difficult to really talk about expansion and growth until you change your relationship with money, until you accept the truth that you are worth investing in yourself and worth having success.
The way money is perceived at the moment is an illusion. And that's what a lot of the work in Thank You Money just gets you to look at it a different way and to understand, as John was saying earlier, how it's the energy of exchange and service. And the notes and the coins and everything else that we've attached to it is actually, it could be anything. It could.
We do live in an unlimited, abundant universe, but we accept these stories on ourselves which place limits that simply aren't there. We have the power and the capacity to create anything that we really become aligned to wanting. And it's about achieving that focus and achieving that understanding of what our part is in allowing that to work and to happen. We need to build a group of strong people up who can work together and help and support each other through these changes that are to come.
Well, I particularly like the bit where it says, it wants to be in the hands of those who hold it with joy. Money has had fear and greed and selfishness and quite dark energy attached to it for a lot of centuries. And we want that money. We want money to be moving and flowing around the world on a current of love and light. It's coming from people who are coming from their heart, who are moving it around to do good for the next person. So when I get my roof done, it means that my roofer has some money he can go and buy his son some new trainers, or his daughter. It's that moving, just moving, not hoarding, not being fearful, but just bringing love and light. It's a choice. We have chosen to accept these stories that money is the root of all evil. When you read the book, you'll hear the messages from money. It says, I am not the devil. I never have been. Money doesn't want to be thought of as evil. It doesn't want to be thought of as greedy and dark.
We all seem to accept, for no particularly good reason, that the money has to be in the hands of evil people and that we have to just continue and just accept that as a fact of life. Well, it's not a fact of life. It's just a story that we share. This idea that there is a tipping point. At the moment, maybe 5 out of 100 people understand. And it will be a point like when the thing just tips over.
When the 51st person gets on board.
As soon as it's evident, I think anyone who's watched my life and how I've grown over the last 2 or 3 years will be kind of amazed to see that I'm back in housing again. I'm back in work again. I think a lot of people would have written me off as I'd gone to a place that no one comes back from. And it very much was finding Sarah McCrum, finding her book, finding these courses. And I really want to share that with other people. I really do. There's so many people suffering at the moment, and suffering needlessly, because we just tell ourselves these stories that we have to suffer because, and it's incredible to watch that process in the mind. A good idea comes in, and then suddenly all these reasons appear why that can't work and why that can't work. What we're suggesting is join us, talk it through, and we will support you. We will help realize these possibilities.
I've just looked at the last slide, and there it is, that exact expression, the tipping point. We're looking for people like you who are resonating with the message that we're bringing to you, who are going, yeah, I've been hearing this. You can hear it and you can feel it. But when enough of us are living like this, the money will no longer be in the hands of the bad people. It's going to get, one of Sarah's colleagues, Peter, always says, Money doesn't change you, it just makes you more of whatever you are. So
Mm.
if you're a heart-centered, soulful, kind, and giving person, having more money will just give you the freedom to be more heartfelt, more soulful, more kind, more compassionate. I cannot see what the problem is with bringing money into the light and bringing money into the love and sharing it with the next person.
So I have got no doubt that rapid and incredible change is possible because I've seen it again and again and again. So we're just looking for the right people to join us, people for whom this message resonates, people who are prepared. It doesn't change overnight. Change doesn't happen like that. It does involve confronting some of your fears, and a really serious and engaged program of relaxing. What's not to love?
You heard it here first. Relax, enjoy, love.
Yeah, let's do this. Thank you so much for listening to us.
Thank you.
Hopefully we'll see you soon.
If you want to book a call, buttons are underneath this video. Or if you feel like you just want to buy the course, buttons are underneath this video.
Or if you want to try the free course, buttons are underneath this video. But you know what? You can do something. You can click a button and you can join us. And I'm in no doubt at all that it will be the best thing you do today.